Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Doing It 365, the podcast where I highlight up-and-coming entities from the Afro-Caribbean community, as well as the prominent entities within this space as well, both here locally in the UK and abroad. I'm your host, Sir Influential, and my guest today is a woman on a mission, a woman with purpose, a woman destined to connect the Afro-Caribbean home, the bud, with the diaspora. She wants to unite the different businesses across the Caribbean and also probably in Africa as well, to right here in the UK. My guest for this evening is the lovely Jaz from My Caribbean First. Jaz, thanks for joining me. How are you doing?
Evening. I'm great. What an introduction. I love it.
Lovely. Thank you. First off, thanks for joining. I know you're a very busy woman, and I appreciate your time. So we want to say a special thanks to you. Folks, straight away, just want to let you know the links to her different brands and business pages are below in the description. Please do check them out. Please, if you're a business or you know somebody that's a business, make sure you contact My Caribbean First to get registered up so the customer base can find you and start to network and grow with you. We're all about building the Caribbean business network space. Just tell us a bit about yourself. How did you, get into business, and what are your different brands?
Well, how I got into business is a bit of a strange story. I actually started off, I've got a maths degree, first of all. So my degree is actually maths with management from Leicester University. But I guess I'm more going towards the management side. Okay. I don't use my maths degree very much. So I kind of fell into business. I worked in events for about 6 months only, and that's about as much as I can handle in an office environment. And at that time, my aunt was building a business. She was actually building Caribbean First with my mum at the time. And I'd done bits and pieces during my school holidays and bits of research for them, but I'd never really worked full time. But when I got fed up of working in the office, my aunt said to me, look, just come and work for us. Just do it a few days a week for now, and then we can build it up. So it started off like that, got involved with Caribbean First that way. It hadn't actually launched yet, but we were at pre-launch stage doing all the research and everything like that, building up the website. Unfortunately, we lost my aunt in 2016 to cancer.
Condolences. Sorry to hear.
Thank you. But my mum and myself decided that we're going to carry on the mission, really build on her legacy, and we launched Caribbean First in 2018. I jumped into the building a website. We rebuilt the website. We brought other people on board to help us, and Caribbean First launched in 2018. It was primarily an information website, so we have information on about 28 of the Caribbean islands. Of course, there's many more islands than that, but we're building it up as we go along. And now more recently, we're focusing on businesses over here in the UK. So Caribbean-owned business in the UK. So building out our business directory. As you said, if there's any businesses, then definitely hit us up on caribbeanfirst.com. So building up our business directory over here, and we've got so much more planned. So much more planned for Caribbean First. It's getting really exciting. But basically, our aim is just to kind of create exposure, raise awareness, and build trust in Caribbean businesses. So that's to create exposure, raise awareness, and build trust in Caribbean businesses so that we can bring economic empowerment to the Caribbean community. So that's my main business, my first business that I kind of started, and like I said, I co-own it with my mum. So that's really great. The second one that only launched in November of last year, I'd say, is Carib Merch. Again, that was just a random idea from my friend, who is now also a co-owner. I was buying some printing bits, and I wanted to be able to print my own stuff for Caribbean First. And at the same time, she came to me with this idea of Carib Merch, which is basically a platform to spotlight Caribbean designers and designers from the diaspora, and give them that platform, but also bring their ideas to life in terms of the actually printing their merchandise. So that's where we kind of collabed on that one, and we're kind of really working to make sure we build that and build it in a way that where we want it to go. and make sure that it's something that's sustainable. And so yeah, that's a new idea, but it is out there. I designed a collection of t-shirts that was more out of anger than anything. It was called Black Excellence, the line of t-shirts. And I designed that probably early last year. And this was around the time of all the Black Lives Matter movements. And I'd really went into myself and did some thinking about the kind of experiences I went through when I was younger as well. And how we're kind of often portrayed quite negatively in the media. So the Black Excellence line is all about redefining and reinforcing the positive adjectives that can be used to describe the Black community. So we have educated, we have lovable, we have strong. So it's just just really working on those adjectives to make sure that people know that we are amazing, we're incredible, and we're not what we like to compare us as. We are a force to be reckoned with. So yeah, that's my two babies, my two brands so far. There's going, like I said, there's lots more in the pipe works, but just a brief introduction into those two brands.
Okay, that's a lot there going on there. Let's go back to My Caribbean First for a moment. What are some of the businesses so far that you have on the roster, and how have you been working with those brands to, get them out there and get them more brand awareness, more customer, traction and traffic?
So of recent, we have, I've been highlighting businesses over the Instagram. So when a business comes on board, we have to go through a whole process of getting business on board, first of all, because we need to make sure that our business is for those businesses and that it's really someone that we can help. We need to make sure our goals are aligned and they're ready to come on this journey, because our directory is not something where you fill in a form and then you're up and that's it, we forget about you. It's very much interactive and we go on this journey together. We really want to help these businesses the whole way, rather than, like I said, just putting them up there and then that's it. So we have a whole onboarding process for the businesses, first of all. So to actually get onto our directory, that each business has like a 15-minute onboarding call, just to us to describe what we do and to let them understand who we are and what we're about. And then also to understand their goals so we can properly help them and make sure that we're helping them to move forward. So after the onboarding call, we then run a spotlight on these businesses for a week, which we've been doing of recent, which is kind of a spotlight over our platforms, all of our social media platforms for the week. We do posts on them for the week, and they have a blog post at the end of the week, just to make sure that everybody knows about these incredible businesses. So we have all sorts of businesses on there. At the moment, we have makeup artists, we have people that sell clothing in different types of clothing, we have tradesmen, all sorts of businesses on there. But like I said, it is a process, because we want to make sure that we are putting quality businesses out there, quality Caribbean owned businesses out there as well. So yeah, it's making sure that we really are aligned in our goals and making sure that we know the business goals as well, so we can really help catapult them.
Right. And what about, for example, the Caribbean businesses in the Caribbean? Because you are a traveler and you go to the Caribbean often. So have you brought your services to their attention?
So yes, that is something we've spoken to, obviously, businesses in the Caribbean, and we are creating that link. Like I said, when we first launched, we started off with businesses actually in the Caribbean. So we do have that database of businesses in the Caribbean. But we decided to scale back a little bit and actually start over here in the UK, especially with the pandemic and not being able to travel. We decided that actually we should focus on Caribbean businesses here in the UK and build that and work on that side of things. And then obviously we will then start looking at focusing on Caribbean businesses in the Caribbean as well. And then it will be in America and it will just spread to worldwide. So we just obviously, there's only really two of us working on the business at the moment, full time. We do have a lot of outside help as well, but there's only two of us working full time. So we are obviously working on scaling up, but we also want to make sure it's manageable for us. So we started with the UK, in terms of Caribbean-owned businesses, but we do definitely have links, obviously, with the Caribbean, which we intend to build on and keep moving forward that way.
Right. You mentioned economic power earlier. What does economic power look like to you, and how do you feel it will show through and benefit our community on a broader scale?
It's all about us creating that generational wealth. I think as a community, that's something we lack and are really working towards. So for us, we want to make sure that, like I said, we own our own businesses. We can then bring in our children to work in these businesses if we need to. And we just have that growing and growing. Because what we do find is that obviously we spend a lot of time working for other people. And if you want to do that, that's fine. But also we want people to be able to build up what they call their side hustles and make them into your main business. Because if that's your passion, then that's obviously what you want to really work on and focus on and build your legacy that way. So yeah, it's about creating that generational wealth, making sure that when we spend money, we're spending it with Caribbean-owned businesses, so that the pound is circling within our community for longer, rather than spending on outside businesses, because there are always an alternative. There's always a Caribbean-owned alternative, but you just maybe don't know where to find it, or you don't know about it, or you're so used to spending in other places that you're kind of skeptical to spend with other businesses. So that's what we're all about, just making sure that people are more comfortable to spend more wisely, so that the pound can really circulate within our community, and then we can strengthen ourselves and not have to rely on others.
Okay. That's a strong message right there. That is a strong message.
Definitely.
It's so important. Here in the UK, do you feel we have too much of the same type of business, and how do you feel like we can diversify our portfolio?
I think the businesses that you mainly know about may look like they're all in one sort of field, but actually when you delve into it, there's people doing a whole host of things, but you just don't know. Unless it's kind of word of mouth and you get to hear that way, you just don't know about these businesses. There is so much going on, and so many great people doing amazing things and creating amazing businesses and filling all sorts of gaps that exist in the markets, but it's just knowing about them. The consumer needs to know about it, and that's why we're building our business directory, so we can bring the brands to the consumer and make sure everyone knows. Because I can't tell you how many amazing businesses out there. Honestly, there's so many. I think everyone can kind of agree that they know at least 3 to 5 Caribbean people that are running their own businesses. Maybe not full time, but they're building up their businesses. So it's just about bringing all of that together. Because if we all know 3 or 5, then our next person knows 3 or 5. But let's bring that together and make sure it's all in one place, so everyone can see all of them together.
Right. I hear you. Do you believe the notion that Caribbean businesses, and it's probably more Jamaican businesses, have bad customer service? Because when you go on social media, you see a lot of people saying, you're now seeing 2 dynamics, or 2 ends of the spectrum, so to speak. They've got no customer service, they're very rude, they're very blunt, they're very harsh, abrupt. And then the other side is, if it's too nice, it's too polite, that means the food ain't good. The food is not on point. So where do you feel the truth more lies? Is it more closer to this side or to that side?
Do you know what it is? I think it's kind of falling into the, like I said, the stereotypes a little bit. But I do believe, as it's in our nature as a culture to kind of be very open with our words, which can come across a bit more abrupt for people that aren't, maybe didn't grow up in the Caribbean or aren't used to that. Because I say it to my mum all the time. I was like, Mum, you have no chill. So I just think it's because she was born in Dominica, she just has that edge to what she says, and she just says it as it is. There's less filters to what maybe people born over in the UK are used to. So it kind of come across a bit more abrupt. But that being said, like I've seen and worked with some of the most incredible businesses that are extremely polite, have great customer service. So I've definitely seen both sides. But I believe, especially like the younger generation, I say that my kind of generation that are coming up and maybe, like I said, grew up in the UK, we have a different mindset and we understand how to speak to people and come across a bit softer in our approach. So I think that's something that's definitely changing. And like I said, when people say, oh, like you said, the food isn't good if they're not rough with it, and when you ask for more gravy, they don't roll their eyes, and you know, the food's not going to be good. That does happen. I can't lie. But I think it's definitely something that's changing.
That's good to hear. I am of the notion that there's no bad customer service. You probably just caught the person on a bad day. And everyone's allowed to have a bad day, I would say.
Exactly.
So for me, you mentioned Dominica, that your parents, your mom is from Dominica. I've noticed that there's one of the main business ventures that's booming and will continue to boom, I think, for a while, is food. So restaurants, food stalls, takeaways, those food vans. But I don't see enough Caribbean varied stalls as such. I see a lot of African varied food stalls. Like I can go and find a Senegalese person, I can go and find a Congolese person, I can go and find a Gambian person, Ghana, Nigeria. But I don't know of any Dominican restaurants. I don't know of any Bayesian restaurants. I know of restaurants that try and take one particular item from each place. But I'd love to go to a Dominican restaurant or a Dominican takeaway or a Dominican food van where they're doing authentic Dominican food that you would find in Dominica. So do you feel like we need to be encouraging, guiding the young or the up-and-coming entrepreneurs or food venturers or fooders or restaurateurs into that field of, you know what, if you're from the Caribbean or you have Caribbean parents, come into this field and come with the difference. Try some food from Guadeloupe. Try doing some food from Martinique or, from Aruba, from Carriacou or Carousel.
That's interesting, actually. I think like I said, it's a lack of knowledge, because I can think of, maybe not as varied as we would like it to be, but there are definitely different islands, people from different islands trying different bits and pieces. A lot of it is either from home or little pop-ups and things like that. So maybe they're not as established as some of the more well-known. Obviously, a lot of time you see the Jamaican flag on different restaurants, and sometimes they're not even owned by Jamaican people. It's just that people think that's the flag that's most well recognized. Therefore, people see and be like, "Oh, Caribbean food," so they'll levitate towards that. Whereas if they put a different flag up, they might feel like actually people won't know who they are, which is a shame, because obviously
it's a big shame.
This is what we're all about, educating people about the Caribbean, because the Caribbean is not just made of one island. But obviously, it's with time and it's with education, and this is why Caribbean First is here.
Exactly. So I want to remind people again, those of you watching, please take a moment, hit the link in the bio and check out the My Caribbean First Instagram page. And from there, you can check out the website, and you can, if you're a business, get registered. If you're a foodie like myself and you want to know where to spend your coin, who to support, who to invest in, straight away you have the answer right there without a doubt. Let's get onto the Caribbean merch now for a moment. I'm doing both of your brands at the same time here. How would you work Carib merch for someone that's an up-and-coming influencer? Because we're in the age now, social media, you have lots of Caribbean influencers. How would a young and aspiring Caribbean influencer, whether they're a DJ, a comedian, a YouTuber, a presenter, how would they use Carib merch to, resonate their heritage along with their own identity and branding, and obviously pitch themselves, to other brands using your services?
So like I said, it is a very new platform. So we are developing the idea, but we are reaching out to, like you said, designers, influencers, anyone that wants to see their logo or their brand on merchandise. So we're working with a designer so that people can come to us. If they don't have designs, they can come to us and they can have a briefing and we can get that design done for them. If you do have a design, again, you can come to us with your design and we'll start putting your designs on merch. There's kind of two ways we can do this. So one way is to kind of create a partnership, which we have done with a few brands that we're kind of trying to push now and move forward with. So if you, so if you come to us with your idea, we'll then start putting on merch and we can promote it on our website and our Instagram and handle the whole process for you in terms of the production, packaging, all of that stuff, and get it out to the customer. So you literally will just send us your design and then obviously we'll decide what the split is and we just handle everything for you, so you don't even have to worry about it. Obviously, we also do the normal printing side where you can come to us and say, okay, I want 50 of these t-shirts. And then we'll do like a batch order. So yeah, it's all about just creating that marketplace so people, again, know about the Caribbean designers that are out there, and just bringing everything together in terms of spotlighting designers and making sure that they're shouted about, they're seen, because it is quite difficult, I know, for Caribbean creatives in the Caribbean as well. If they want to sell on the UK market, buying from a Caribbean designer and then having to ship that over here, the fees are crazy. So that's why we want to create that link as well, so that Caribbean designers in the Caribbean, we can be their UK-based sellers, because obviously then you're not paying those crazy transactional fees.
Exactly. That's wicked. I love that. That sounds really, really, really cool. And again, I appreciate the connectivity. Here the diaspora, here, which is great. Oh, sorry, we are the diaspora. So home and the diaspora here. Mm-hmm. Definitely. So going forward, how do you feel or see social media has, benefited the way how we brand, image, see, and respect and resonate with entities and companies and businesses? Now that you've gone into this field yourself now, do you feel like Caribbean influencers are not doing enough, or they're misusing their platforms and they're damaging their branding in any way?
I wouldn't say so. I think there's Caribbean influencers that are doing amazing, incredible stuff, like I said, both here and in the Caribbean. And social media has meant that we can actually create that link much easier. You're not having to know people as such, because before you were creating networks and creating links where you actually had to know the person or you know them through somebody else. Now you can follow someone on Instagram and you can drop them a message and you can connect that way. So it's really, really bringing in that link between the Caribbean and the diaspora. And I think it's amazing to see, because like I said, there's some incredible creatives in the Caribbean and over here as well. And just seeing everyone kind of come together and being given the same platform in a way, so that it's almost creating a level playing field. I know that in terms of like equipment and stuff like that, it may be more difficult to get hold of certain things if you're actually in the Caribbean. But in terms of once you actually hit the social media, everybody's there. It's free for all.
That's right, without a doubt. So, 2021. What are for those who are watching now and they're thinking about business ideas or ventures that they can, take up and run with their stride? What are some of the business ventures or ideas that you're aware of that you see coming through your inventory that you say, you know what, we need more people, we need more of our people here because there's not enough representation here, and we need more of you to keep pushing this because you're here? Because I feel like there's a lot of us that do, for example, the barber shop or the hairdressers, so to speak, but not enough of us have a car wash or a restaurant per se, or a delivery service. or even a bank.
Okay.
What do you say to that going forward? How do you feel like there are certain industries that we need to, as a people, utilize and get into logistics wise as well?
Definitely. Like you said, there's kind of industries that may be easier to get into because that's what we know of. But I think industries such as like the financial services, IT services, that sort of thing, maybe lacks representation. Not that it's not out there, but maybe people are working in other businesses. So it's getting that confidence to start something for yourself, and that is not easy. So I think it's just to encourage people to really find what they're passionate about. It's fine, like I said, if you want to work in another business or work for someone, it's starting out your own business is not for everybody, and it's not for the faint-hearted. So that is absolutely fine if that's what you want to do. But if you are somewhere and you are not happy and you have this passion and you have this side hustle, work on it. Please work on it. There are people out there that can help you. Get yourself a business mentor. All of these wonderful things. Reach out to your network, because that is something I've realized that is crucial. I was very used to doing everything for myself. I thought if I don't do it myself, it doesn't get done. Not true. Reach out to your network. If you don't know someone, your network will know someone that knows someone, and you will find the people you need to. So just really work on your passion. If you're not happy where you are, make that change and make that step. It's scary, but do it.
Definitely, that's true. So people, you're hearing it right here, right now. That's the encouragement, because I know a lot of you are sitting down at home now, thinking how can you best navigate now? What can we say? Post pandemic? Can we say post pandemic now? Are we coming out of it slightly? We're slowly coming out of the lockdowns, and we're getting into a space now where businesses are going to be up and running again, and also businesses are going to be starting. New businesses are going to be emerging. So again, even if you don't have a business idea now, who knows? Probably in 6 months' time you may do. Come back to this video, check out mycaribbeanfirst.com, or go on their Instagram as well. The links are in the description box below, and make sure you're signing up and getting yourself like posted so people can find you and find out where you are and how best to support you. You're talking about networks and networking. How easy has it been for you to network with the businesses in the Caribbean and also suppliers in here going forward? Like, are you planning to, would you need to spend some time in the Caribbean as well and really formulate a whole new branch of the business? Or are you just going to keep it just over the internet and let's get things sent into you via email?
So developing a hub in the Caribbean is something that we've always wanted to do from the get-go. From before I even got involved in Caribbean First, it was always something that was going to happen. Like I said, there's different things that have gone on throughout the years that have halted that a little bit, but I believe everything happens for a reason. And it's something that is, like I said, it's on our minds. It's in our plans to create a hub. We're looking at St. Lucia at the moment, but that obviously could change. But definitely, I feel like we need to have that hub over there, and like you said, spend some time over there. I'm very up for spending time in the Caribbean.
Definitely.
I definitely love to do. But I definitely think it's important in terms of also building businesses out there and making that connection as well. So that Caribbean-owned businesses in the UK and also connected Caribbean-owned businesses, Caribbean businesses in the Caribbean, and making that link and making sure that also there's a lot of businesses in the Caribbean that aren't owned by Caribbean people.
That's true.
Thriving businesses that aren't owned by Caribbean people. So it's also building that up as well, because that is something else that I could go on about that for a very long time. That's something that I'm very passionate about, because it always feels like we're trailing, and things are being taken away from us, historically taken away from us. So it's about time that we own our stuff and take things back. Because Caribbean people spend a lot of money. We like to do our hair, we like to use our seasonings when we cook, we like to we like to look good. We spend money. So we are a profitable community. So people like to sell at us and market to us. And a lot of the time what we don't realize is who we're buying from. You may think it's from the Caribbean and it's owned by, it's not. When you look into it,
it's not at all.
It's not.
It's worrying.
And that's why I said we're trying to change people's ideas and change who people automatically go to, so you're automatically going to a Caribbean business. You don't have to think twice. You just know who you're buying from. So it's all about that, both here and, like I said, in the Caribbean as well, because a lot of those hotel chains and those.
Definitely. I'm glad you spoke on it. So let's speak on even the traveling and the hotel chains, for example. How often do you travel to the Caribbean, and where are some of your favorite places to go to?
So obviously, let's talk pre-pandemic. I was in the Caribbean maybe about 4 to 6 months of the year I spent in the Caribbean, and that was about to increase. I actually want to spend the majority of my time in the Caribbean, completely flip the way I usually do things. So I'll be in the Caribbean and visiting the UK. That's my aim personally. And when I'm over there, I do like to try and stay in kind of family homes or homes of friends, or even Airbnbs where I can get to know the hosts and support smaller businesses in that way as well, because I think you get more of an authentic experience that way as well. Obviously, I do like to stay in a hotel as well, because you get a bit of your luxury, but majority of my time is usually spent, like I said, family homes and that sort of thing. So yeah, I do want to spend a lot more time in the Caribbean. I will be spending more time in the Caribbean.
Stated.
When we get to travel and get back to that. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do.
I want to touch on even a bit more in depth the Airbnbs, the hotel chains. How do you, when someone like you that's a carnivalist, you frequent many different carnivals over the years, when you're picking your Airbnbs, your hotels, what are some of the things you look for, and how do you decide, you know what, yes, I'm going to go with this one because, you know, yes, it's small business, but also they have this and this and this. And how do you feel those smaller businesses or owners or brands or entities, for example, the Airbnb owners in the less busy places or not on the main high street, how can they improve, you know, their product, their space, their home?
You know what, sometimes it is actually quite hard to find in terms of accommodation, especially if you're going to Trinidad around carnival time. Finding somewhere that is affordable and in the right areas can be difficult. But just talk to people. Talk to people that have been there before. You can find a lot of influencers and stuff online are willing to help. You have people like Journey to Carnival that have people that can help. Airbnb is getting better in terms of covering areas in the Caribbean. So again, that's somewhere to look. But just do your research and talk to people, because you can usually find someone that stayed in that area before or traveled to that carnival before. A lot of people are covering carnivals in terms of their blogs. So just talk and get to know the right areas, the safe areas. Obviously, it's something that's really important. Yeah, if you can go for a recommendation, that's always the best way to go. I have been very fortunate in the places I've managed to get, especially in Trinidad. The last time I was there, this was last year. Yeah, I was there from kind of January 2020 to March. And I stayed in an apartment of this lovely lady. I found her in Airbnb. We still talk now. She took me all around Trinidad. She literally speaks to me as if I'm her daughter, and I've just made that beautiful connection, and that's what it's all about.
That's so
if I
good.
stayed in a hotel, I did something different, I would not have made that connection. She is an incredible woman, and it's the same, like I said, when I stayed.
What's her? Hold on. What's her business name? Let's shout her out now, because Trinidad 2022 may happen, even if it doesn't. Trinidad 2023.
You know what? No, she's actually in South, so she's not for Trinidad Carnival. She wouldn't be the place to go. Yes, but I was staying in South to get some of the. When you're in Trinidad for Carnival, you end up staying in town. which is very busy, and it's lovely. Don't get me wrong, and it's the perfect spot to stay if you're going for carnival. But I was there for a few months, so I also wanted to be able to visit the beaches and chill out and all of that sort of thing. So yeah, she's not the perfect place to stay for carnival. And she has like an apartment building, and only one of them she rented out for Airbnb. I'm not sure if she still even does it. But yeah, incredible stay, and I've always been fortunate. But I'm not lucky, I'm blessed. That's what I would say.
Oh yes. Amen. How about, have you considered, or is this probably something that probably might be in the My Caribbean First future business idea, where you reach out to those Airbnbs, the government, even to say, you know what, we want to advise, we want to assist you in building your tourism in this way, and ensuring that logistically you can manage now better than before, because they see that first carnival, whichever island gets that whole year really, but you see the first like 5 carnivals that get the thumbs up to say, yeah, you can have your full capacity as normal. Logistically, how are you going to cope? Because if in 2018 you had islands getting an influx of an additional 10,000 to 15,000 people coming, what's going to happen when they say we really outside? We could look at 25,000. So is that something that you will be up for doing with your brand, My Caribbean First?
Do you know what? It's something we have thought about, not just yet, but it's in our kind of vision for the future in terms of hitting the tourism industry, because it is a huge industry in the Caribbean, and it's an industry that we're very reliant on, which obviously has its positive and negatives for that as well. But even stuff down to like airlines and into Caribbean travel, that's something that in a ideal world we'd like to definitely target. Like I said, it's in our future plan, because a lot of Caribbean people in the Caribbean don't get to travel around the islands like we feel like they should. For us, we get to travel. We used to be able to travel around Europe, and it was easy. Why is it not as easy for Caribbean people?
In the Caribbean, very, very good point.
Yeah, so it's
very, very good point.
It's definitely, like I said, it's something that's in our vision, and I'm going to say we will execute it, because I've got some big plans.
Big plans, she's only right. Let's just quickly shout out to the viewers watching live right now. Katrina saying she loved this question. Great music films team, big up yourself. Jonas, big up yourself. DJ Boots, big up yourself. We really, really appreciate all you that are tuning in live in the moment right now, watching us. This is the Doing It 365 podcast with your host, Surf Regula, and I'm speaking to the amazing Jaz from Carib merch. Now, Jaz, what's next now? 2021. What can we expect from Carib merch and My Caribbean First for the rest of the year?
So Caribbean First, like I said, we're building our business directory, but that's only one of the ways in which we want to create our platform and encourage businesses. We have, like I said, we have a lot planned. I'm not going to give too much away just yet. You'll have to follow,
right.
Come on the journey with us to find out what else we'll be doing. But we have some big plans. And as for Carib merch, again, it's the same sort of thing. We're creating partnerships. We're building our platform to be able for designers to kind of come to us in an easy way, for them to upload their designs and get that across to us, like I said, so that we can connect with Caribbean people around the world and make it easy for us in the UK to order from them. So just lots of big plans, lots of traveling, creating those networks, but trust me, it's going to be a good year.
All right. One of my final questions before we wrap up fully here. Again, you're a carnivalista. How do you feel My Caribbean First and Carib merch is going to be able to influence and support now the surges of the carnivals that we're going to see happening over the next 3 to 5 years now, because we've missed out now. It's been what, 2 years now of no real carnivals, going into 2 years now of no proper carnivals. So how can we expect to see Carib Merch and My Caribbean First really come behind these brands and these entities to say, you know what, we want to, because those are businesses, those carnival bands, those entertainers, those DJs, those producers, those live band musicians are businesses in their own right, entities in their own right, for sure. So how can we expect to see Caribbean Merch? Are we going to see you in St. Lucia or Dominica or Trinidad or Jamaica or, you know, Bermuda or St. Martin for 6 months, probably even 8 months?
We are going to get around as much as we can. Like I said, I've got plans to spend most of my time in the Caribbean, which will then mean it's easier for me to get around the other islands and not having to fly back and forth from the UK. Maybe I'll be flying back and forth from St. Lucia instead. So it's definitely enough. Like I do enjoy carnival, so you will be seeing me here, there, and everywhere at the weekenders and all sorts of stuff, because I'm ready to get back into it. And like you said, these are all businesses, so DJs, promoters, all of that. We intend to also expose them on our platforms as well. It's not just about what people may see as the kind of conventional businesses. DJs and artists and all of that as well, they are more than welcome to our platforms. We'll be highlighting events that are going on, soca events, all types of events that are going on. We're just going to keep screaming and shouting about all the Caribbean-owned businesses, all of that, and then we can find out about all that come to us. We're just going to make sure that everybody knows, and we're not going to stop until
everybody knows.
Yeah, everybody knows. People need to know, because there's so much out there, so much. So we're just creating that place where they can all come together.
All right, cool. I've got some fire questions for you now, because this is getting juicy now. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. Just you have to give me the yes or no answer straight away. Yeah.
Okay.
So, cool. Oxtail or curry goat?
Curry goat.
Rice and peas or jollof rice?
Oh, rice and peas.
Rice and peas. You sure?
No, jollof if it's made by my sister. Rice and peas, otherwise.
All right, cool. Lobster or jerk chicken?
Jerk chicken.
Chicken patty or beef patty?
Beef.
What? Getting sweet with it. Steamed fish or salmon?
Steamed fish.
Steamed fish. St. Lucia Carnival or Dominica Carnival?
You can't ask me that. I refuse to answer. People always ask me this. What's your favorite carnival? I can't say.
Yeah.
Every carnival experience is so different and so unique. I don't have a favorite. I love them all.
You love them all, yeah? All right, cool. Patrice or Denise Belfon?
Patrice.
Alison Hines or Destra?
Ooh, that's a hard one. I'm going to go with Alison, actually, on that one.
All right, cool. Problem Child or Lyrical?
Lyrical.
Skinny Banton or Skinny Fabulous?
Skinny Fabulous.
Skinny Fabulous, yeah? All right, cool. Farmer Nappy or Iowa George?
Farmer.
Kess or Kerwin? Yo, that was fast.
Right. You can say. I love my groovy soca. I love groovy soca and Kess. Woo! Every time. Doesn't miss.
Right. Preedy or Michelle?
Preedy.
Okay.
I think he's underrated.
That's dope. That's dope. Thank you so much. Jaz, it's been really, really, really nice speaking to you this evening. I enjoyed this conversation, and it's so good to see that you're ready and you're on board here to push through the Caribbean, entities, brands, businesses, movies, and shakers, influencers. So once again, folks, if you're watching, we have one more question. Katrina said, Preedy or Kess?
Oh Lord. Oh, that's a hard one. I don't know if I can choose between the two. Really and truly. She knows this as well. She knows I want them both at my wedding. I've already spoken to Preedy about it and he's agreed. So it's going to happen. I can't choose.
Right. See there? So that's why, folks. This has been the 365 podcast. I've been your host, Sir Influential. This has been Jaz. Make sure you click the links in the description below and follow Jaz on her official Instagram page. Follow By Caribbean First. Follow Carib Merge. Check our website. And if you're a business owner of any kind of business or brand in any way, shape, or form, make sure you get enlisted and get registered onto their inventory so you can be found, so we can help to push you and promote you. This is what it's all about, doing it 365. We out. Peace and love. See you on the next episode.